Hey, what is up, DCS Crew? Today I've got a 2 for you video, and one of them is going to be from Civivi, and the other is going to be from its parent company, We Knife Company. So, got two boxes that were sent over to me after my visit to Blade Show. I got to go ahead and check out the We and Civivi booth. They were extremely busy over there, but I did get to run into their rep. His name is Seth. And very, very nice gentleman. Shout out to Seth over there at We/Civivi. I got to meet him in person, kind of talked to him for a bit, shot some video from the booth, and he's like, hey, quick FYI, I do have a package that's headed your way. You should be receiving it soon. I'm like, okay, cool. No sooner had I gotten home from Blade Show that weekend. I'm talking about that Monday morning. I had something in the mail, and it was this stuff over here from Civivi and We. So let's go ahead and take a look at both of these and do a quick size comparison, talk about the specs, and what my thoughts are on these two models. So stay tuned, let the intro drop, and we'll get right to the review. Welcome back, guys. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. So like I said before, this is going to be a quick first impressions or a review initially of two knives that were sent over to me by Seth over at We or Civivi. Very nice gentlemen. Be sure to go ahead and check out their channel, their YouTube channel. It is steadily growing. They are talking about new releases, and they give you a first look at a lot of the stuff that's going to be coming up soon. In case you weren't able to go ahead and catch some of that Blade Show coverage, or if you're looking to go ahead and see something a little bit later on in the year that's going into 2022 and onward, they are a good resource to be able to show that. They're going to be getting it first before even the reviewers do, because some actually do get sent products to go ahead and show off prior to launch, just to kind of, quench the hype beast, if you will. It'll give them a little bone, throw them a bone, if you will, but it'll still keep the hype going. So the first of many, and this one actually came out on June 18th, is a slip joint from Oh Stop Hell, and this one is called the Kyv, and I'm hoping that I said that right, okay? So it is actually spelled Ki-V. It is a slip joint, and that means it is a non-locking knife. It is from Oh Stop Hell, and if you've ever checked out some of his stuff, he does a lot of really unique stuff, a lot of, think outside the box type of thing. And this one is a non-locking slip joint. It's not a double detent, but it runs off of bearings. It's extremely small, and I want to say that in total, I want to say it's like 4 inches or something like that, like total, like with it open. And personally, this knife, to me, it feels like this is for the guy that, the dude that wants to ask somebody, hey, what would be a good knife for me, but kind of doesn't want to fit in with everybody else. He's kind of like the hipster that is against the establishment, but he wants a knife to be able to carry, but he wants it to be HR friendly. He wants it to be legal wherever he's going to be traveling, say within the States or, somewhere. He wants it to be concealable. I think that this is a really good choice for him. It comes in 2 colors. There's the jade with this kind of stone-washed blade that you can see right here. Okay, it's absolutely flickable like you just saw. And they have a black on black version, if you will. Okay, now this is going to be 9CR18 MOV. Like I said, it's really, really small, and it is tapped for deep carry on your right hand side. So it's going to be tip up, deep carry. Let me go ahead and show you the front. There's the clip side, the back, and the show side with the obvious C. Love that C. Probably because my name is Carlos, and C is obviously the middle of DCS. But in any case, awesome blade shape that lends itself extremely well to be able to open boxes and that sort of thing. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, just something that it's an excellent 5th pocket knife. And let me go ahead and show you the, so small, the specs over here to the right, and keep this up around so that I can go ahead and show you design number 2, which is going to be not be from Ostapel, and it's not a Civivi knife. This one is actually from We Knife Company. It is an integral titanium frame lock flipper, and it is the Mini Synergy, or as I like to call it, the Synergy 3, and I'll tell you why in a second. This is a Jim O. Young design. It comes in 2 blade shapes. You have the trailing point, and then you have this one, which is kind of like a modified Tonto. You see that Tonto, and then typically you'll have like a straight edge here, very similar to, like, say, the Warncliffe, but in this case, it provides some belly, so you get that nice reinforced tip for, you know, piercing, and then you have the belly to be able to go ahead and slice through. Beautiful textured micarta. Let me see if I can show that a little bit more in the light there. Extremely nice, and like I said before, integral, and by integral I do mean it is a one-piece design that makes up the handle itself. Not the funnest thing when you are going to take this apart and work on it, but the truth is they come extremely well done right out of the box. I haven't had to lube this. I haven't had to do anything out of it. I didn't even have to go ahead and adjust the pivot. It just sits nice and flush, nice and center. And let me go ahead and show the front, the show side, the back side, the booty, and the clip side. And let me go ahead and put this one right here so you can go ahead and see the specs over here onto your right. Now, like I said before, this is a Jim O. Young design. I actually met Jim O. Young at SHOT Show 2020 over in Vegas, because he is actually a sports shooter. He's an IDPA shooter. Very nice gentleman. Spoke very highly of We Knife Company. They've done extremely well with his designs. This is the third in line of their designs. And the first one obviously was the Synergy, and then it was the Synergy 2, and then obviously now it is the Mini Synergy, or I guess you could say the Synergy 3, because that's actually what I like to call it. Now, the reason why I call it that is because it's an overall, 7 inches. You have a 4-inch blade, 4-inch scales, 3-inch blade. The titanium pocket clip, it's kind of got that spoon look. It has this little indentation here to make it a little bit easier to kind of, adhere itself to the pocket. And I will take out my little pocket thing so that you can see what they actually look like in the pocket. But this is just over 3 ounces, like 3.3 ounces. Super lightweight for what you're getting. A little bit pricey though, I will say. This is going to run you close to about just over $3 and I mean, not everybody is going to be able to go ahead and afford this, but in the meantime, if you can, this is a great knife to add to your collection. Personally, I really like the trailing point, but you're going to get a lot of variety, a lot of different versions of this, as well as the 2 different blade shapes. Personally, I really like this version because you can anodize the scales, make them pretty much any color, and then you just get the trailing point and you have the ideal knife. For me, it is not a deep carry clip like the Kyv, and it is not tipped for left-hand carry, but you do get a lanyard should you just go ahead and install one on there, or forego the use of the clip and just go with a lanyard. So we're gonna go ahead and check out a couple of knives that I'm going to put here just for size comparison. This is the Kaiser Jungus. This is a Carlos Elsner design from Kaiser. That's the Kaiser Jungus. This is the Kaiser Rogue Dirk Pinkerton design. As you can see, very similar as far as overall dimensions. 4 inches for the handle, 3 inches for the blade. And just a little something small to be able to compare to the Kyv. That's the little Main Street right there from Concept Knives. I have, let's see, what else do I have here? I have the Kershaw Dividend. This is the discontinued version with Evron scales and 420 high carbon steel. USA made, great little knife, extremely slicey, by the way. Very, very recommended. If you can actually find one, I really recommend you get it. Another great slicey knife, the Feldspar. Now, this is the mini Feldspar from CJRB. Really, really nice. And also jade with the deep carry clip like the Kyv. Significantly larger than the Kyv, but then again, I don't think I have very many knives that are smaller than the Kyv, with the exception of maybe like my classic SD Victorinox. I know that's definitely smaller. So one more here. This is the Becker BK40 from K-Bar and Becker Knife and Tool. And what's in my pocket today? What's in my pocket? Oh yeah, it's this right here. This is the Kaiser clutch in carbon fiber. That's a carbon fiber inlay, S35 yen steel. Great, great, great design from Carlos Elsner, who also designed the Jungus that you saw earlier. So my thoughts on these. Well, let's go ahead and first see how they look inside of the pocket. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. And we'll start off with the Kyv. Okay, so I will say one thing that I really liked about this. I'm going to put this in the pocket real quick. Make sure it's good to go. Come on, there we go. There we go. So two things I really liked about this. Okay, being that it's in the pocket, it sits very deep in the pocket. Okay, number one. Number two, when you look at it inside of the pocket, it does look like it's a pen, a clip from the pen. So it allows you to be able to go ahead, and because of the fact it's so light, I want to say it's like just over an ounce, 1.2, 1.3 ounce or something like that. You can put this in your shirt pocket. You can put this in the fifth pocket of your pants and your jeans. You can put this in, your back pocket, wherever. This would actually work extremely well in that regard. And a lot of people would just kind of say, oh no, it's not really that big of a deal. And a lot of people would see this knife and they're like, oh, it's kind of cute. Well, the truth is, this isn't something that you'd be using for self-defense, number one. Number two, the blade shape lends itself extremely well to be able to use for cutting open boxes, mail, stationery, that sort of thing. 9CR18 MOV is nice and stainless. You do have that stone wash effect, so it's not going to be, really shiny and garner the attention of, HR. Plus, one thing that I did notice, the clip itself is blasted. It's not a polished clip, so it's not going to reflect as much. Kudos to Civivi for doing that, as well as the fact that the pocket clip is actually recessed into the scales, and you do have, let's see if I can show that a little bit better there. There we go. You have recessed screws, and as far as flicking it open, I have not had a problem with that so far. I've had a little bit of a problem with opening it kind of using the, my thumb as the front flipper. It's not really just meant to do that because you don't have a lot of detent to it. But just flicking it open normally, it works great. You do have jimping here so that when you have it in your hand and you place, say for example, your finger right up here where there's jimping, there's another port right here where there is jimping, and you can kind of use it this way. I tend to kind of just use it in this manner to be able to go ahead and do whatever tasks I need to do. Open stationery, boxes, mail that comes in from Amazon, that sort of thing, and you're good to go. So now, one thing to note, this came slathered in oil and extremely gritty. A couple of drops of your favorite lubricant and a nice rag will definitely go ahead and help. Personally, if you definitely want to have something that everybody's going to say is going to work well with knives, feel free to go ahead and use KPL. That's what I used. There we go. Show yourself there. KPL. This is the standard version. I know that there's KPL Heavy. I don't use that. I just use the standard KPL because it's always worked up until now. But that's my 2 cents on using that on this particular knife. And I do recommend it. It's actually pretty cool. It's a different design. You kind of got to get used to it. If you have smaller hands, it definitely works better. But it will work just as well for larger hands. And if you want something a little bit more clandestine than this, I would go black on black. But the truth is, I really like this because of the fact that it's jade. Jade can, take dye extremely well. You can rit dye this pretty much any color under the sun. This is relatively easy to be able to take apart. You do have nested liners. They aren't skeletonized because the truth is at just over an ounce, you really don't need to skeletonize something like this. But you are going to get your money's worth for this. I'm sure this is well under $50, but definitely a really cool design. And it just came out as of the 18th from Civivi. And go ahead and check out this design from Ostap Hell. This is the Kyv. Now, onto the Mini Synergy. Now, the Mini Synergy, I did get to see initially when I saw a design, I was a little conflicted because I was like, it has a lot going for it, but man, that price, it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm part of the school of thought that the more you pay for something, it's almost like the less likely you're going to use it. So I don't buy a lot of really expensive stuff because I don't want to put it through its paces and potentially mess it up and muck it. And then if I don't, or say for example, I buy it, I use it, I don't like it because it's just uncomfortable for me, and I try to sell it on the secondary market, the more expensive you get something, the more likely it's going to depreciate heavily in value when you're going to go ahead and flip it. Say, for example, you're looking at trucks and you buy an F-150 new, it immediately depreciates when it runs off the lot, and you know, you use it for a month, it's not for you, and you don't want to sell it back to the, you know, to the dealer because he wants to rape you with the difference in pricing and the depreciation. So you sell it on the secondary, you're still going to lose your ass because of the fact that it's just depreciated that much. And I find that not necessarily just with this, but with, you know, a lot of knives that are in the 300 plus range. So, but I will say this, you get milled titanium integral scales. That is not cheap to produce. It's extremely tough on the machinery to, you know, for CNC machinery to be able to go ahead and do this kind of milling. We did an excellent job with that. The ergos on this are very good. The spine has actually been rounded off, and you see chamfering, and you see a lot of little nuances with the blade. You can see here that grind over here adjusts. You see the swedge over here. You see the nice grind. You see the belly. Plus, you know, I mean, everything has been done right. The grind lines look very nice and clean. You know, you have the titanium lock bar insert that actually looks a little bit lighter than the titanium that's on here. That's really nice. A lot of stuff here that makes me want to say, I understand where the pricing is coming from, but as somebody who uses knives, you know, in my daily routine, something like this would be something used for, like, if I'm going to an executive board meeting and I wanted something to look bougie, you know, if I wanted to have something really nice around my friends who have like you know, Sebenzas, or, you know, the gold class Benchmades, that sort of thing. I can take out something like this, and it would be in good company, because let me tell you, Jim O-Young's design was executed flawlessly. I believe I said that before, and I'll say it again, by We Knife Company, and this is no exception. If you're looking for a smaller version of the Synergy, go ahead and take a look at this guy. It's definitely worth checking out if you have the money for it. And I dig it. I'm just not the biggest fan of this particular blade shape, but they do make the trailing point, and I would definitely go for that. I would even go for this particular you know, handle. I am a fan of this, and even though it's a 4-inch handle, you get about from here on to be able to go ahead and grab. I still have ample area to grab, and right where my hand, you know, the purchase, as far as right here, you get the jimping here, you get some jimping down here that gives you nice access to the lock bar. You get some jimping towards the bottom here. You know, it's actually a very well thought out design. It has all of these little nuances, and you can actually see the O-Young, the Jim O-Young maker's mark right there. This is, if I'm not mistaken, 20 CV steel. I'm trying to see if I can see where it says it. It doesn't seem to, yeah, it doesn't seem to say it here, but I do know that it's 20 CV because that's what they use for their upper tier knives. And honestly, I don't know, if it were me, I would buy this on the secondary market, just to be able to go ahead and get my money's worth. If I get it and I use it, or if I get it and I don't like it, I can go ahead and flip it for a similar amount and not lose too much. But for the Kyv, I would actually buy this. This is actually something really cool. This is an HR friendly knife. I think that if I got one of these, it would definitely fit into my, you know, budget office video series that I've done. I think I've done 2 or 3 of them already. This would definitely be in the next lineup if I have that opportunity to purchase this. And like I said, it's got 2 variants, but with this, the possibilities are endless because you can go ahead and dye this multiple colors. I like that the clip has been subdued. It's not, you know, that polished satin look. I'm sorry, that polished look. And you do have the blade on this that is nice and stonewashed. On one side, you do have it does say the Old Stop Hell design. Let me see if I can go ahead and show that off right there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. And then let me see if it shows the blade steel. Come on, show it to me. Oh, here we go. Okay, so on the same side where you get the maker's mark where it says Old Stop Hell design, up here you can probably see it. It's in very, very small text, but it does say 9CR18 MOV. So there you go. And this would definitely be a buy. If you want something unique, if you're that hipster that doesn't want to be considered, you know, the knife guy in the office, but you do need a knife to be able to open boxes, and you don't feel like carrying a Swiss Army knife because that's too cliche, that's too old school, and you want something new, definitely go ahead and check this out. This is definitely a really, really cool design. It's nice to have as a secondary knife too if you have your, you know, mini Synergy and you don't want to use it for mundane tasks like opening mails and boxes and stuff like that. This guy right here, the edge on this makes it an excellent box cutter, letter opener, that sort of thing. So those are my 2 cents, or I guess my 20 minutes worth in talking about 2 knives. I apologize for the long video, but do keep in mind that these are 2 knives, so you're basically getting 2 reviews for the price of 1 on this. You have the mini Synergy from Jim O. Young, and then you have, there we go, the Kyv from Old Stop Hell. 2 really cool designs. If I had to go with one, I would go for this one. I'm more of a budget guy, but any case, this would make a really good backup to the existing EDC collection that you have. But you would not go wrong with the Jim O. Young designed mini Synergy. There's a reason why this is the 3rd iteration in the series. We does the knife justice. You have 2 different blade shapes, and you have quite a few, I don't want to say a dozen because it's not a dozen, but you have quite a few different scale options as well. And keep in mind, this is an integral. You see a lot of that with companies like Lion Steel. We Knife does it sometimes, but definitely with this one, definitely worth checking out, definitely worth buying. Say it like that. So there's your 2 for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Huge shout out to Civivi and We, especially Seth from We Knife Company. Go ahead and check out that video from my visit to We and Civivi over at Blade Show 2021. I'll go ahead and see if I can put the video at the end. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and hit me up on Daily Carry Solutions on Instagram. That's at Daily Carry Solutions. Or you can visit my website, dailycarrysolutions.com. Throw a message that way, or feel free to comment below. And to you, I don't know, 97% that view this video and don't subscribe, what the heck are you doing? Subscribe, get the updates, and get this information on these knives to go ahead and give yourself an educated decision. This is something that I would consider, as a selling point. When I'm going to go ahead and check out a knife, I do research quite a bit. And sometimes, it does help to hear what other people have to say and bring out little nuances about the knife that their usage brought up that they liked or they didn't like. So consider that when you're going to go ahead and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike. I don't care. It helps with the analytics anyways. So take it easy, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.